So I thought I'd do what we've been reading in our homeschool video. I haven't got my glasses on, and I've just done a charity shop haul, and the camera kept going in and out of focus, and it's probably spun my eyes out. But we'll see how we go. We'll start off what we're reading the kids. My sister Jodie, we just started reading this at the end of the last what we're reading our homeschool video, and if you haven't seen on my Facebook, I had to look up what the age range for this book is, because the word twat's thrown around, the word prick's in it. There's bits about underage, alluding to underage sex, and all that I could skip over while I'm reading it the kids. And Jacqueline Wilson does like to, you know, push it where she can, but there's a bit in it which I really objected to, where there's these 11-year-olds in hardly any clothes playing lap dances, and the whole scene had nothing to do with the plot, and unless Jacqueline Wilson's now writing for paedophiles, I couldn't see the point in it. And to me, that ruined what would have been a good book. There's a tragic ending, and there's a bit with a badger dying, but I don't particularly mind dark topics, but some parents might. But the whole, you know, minors playing lap dancing just ruined it for me. And it made me question if we should still be buying Jacqueline Wilson's. But anyway, there you go. After that, which was really well timed, because like I say, this has got a tragic ending. So after this, we read a David Walliams out the library, Slime. And, you know, it was a total tonic after reading a book with a tragic ending, because it was fun. It was full of David Walliams' fantastical humour and adventures. This little boy makes some slime by accident, and it's got personality, and they go round exacting revenge on all the adults that have been nasty to kids on the island. And this slime, it can turn into anything. It can turn into a plane, it can turn into a boat, it can turn into anything. And this boy's normally in a wheelchair, so it gives him that freedom as well. It's such a good book. It's such a feel-good book. And it's one of them books where you can see why they compared David Walliams to Roald Dahl. We really enjoyed that. We got through it really quickly. And like I say, it was a tonic after the serious My Sister Jodie. Then we read Fagins Girl. It's set in Victorian times. This girl, her mum dies. They was poor anyway. Their mum dies, and rather than going in the workhouse, she goes with her brother to work for Fagin, which is a character they borrowed off Oliver Twist, as a child thief. And they get caught, and the boy gets transported to Australia. And it's very educational. It's quite good as well. There's pictures in it. And then a bit I found interesting was at the end, there's a bit where they do the facts behind the fiction, where they talk about, the facts behind the story. In every chapter they talk about why they put in what they did, you know, what bits was true. So it was good. Yeah, it was good, that one. That was out of the library. And then we've read this before, but I didn't remember till we started reading it. Terry Deary, World War II Tales. It's a true story about a boy that's evacuated, and he borrows a bike off a land girl, cycles the 65 miles home during the night, only for his mum to send him back again. We read that in 2 sittings, and that was quite good as well. It's a bit humorous in parts. Yeah, it was quite good. England 1939. We've just started this one. I think this is going to be a serious one. White Feather. We've only read the first chapter, so I'll just read what it says on the back. The First World War is over, but for Tony there is little to celebrate. His brother never returned from no man's land. To make it worse, Charlie died, not as a hero, but was executed as a coward. Grief-stricken, Tony refuses to believe that his brother was a traitor, and he is pushed to the edge in his dark quest to uncover the horrifying truth. So we're only one chapter in, so I can't tell you if it's any good or not, but I just thought that was an interesting one. And it says World War I, grief, shell shock. I'm only reading these books to the older two, by the way, not the younger three. So I thought that would be an interesting one. Now, what I've been reading Catherine Cooks and the Tinker's Girl. I've never heard of this one. They never made it into a telly thing or anything. And the title's nothing to do with it. The subtitle's nothing to do with it. Or that'll be the kid's friend coming. The cover's nothing to do with it. Like these books generally are. This girl comes out the workhouse to work in this really tumble down farm. And the mother is ill in bed and the father's a bit of a drunk and the oldest son does all the work. And she treats the oldest son so badly. I had to put it down at one point because I was so in love with the oldest son. Yeah, she treated him so badly, and I was so in love with the oldest son. And of course, she ends up getting with him, but it was really good. I really enjoyed it. And I also read, I got this off the free shelf somewhere, can't remember where. Only Fools and Stories. It's David Jason's second biography, which is just stories. But the Del Boy bit, I know if you read anything about David Jason, you're going to want to hear about Del Boy, but the Del Boy bit is just rehashed from the first book and the third book. And there's good things in it, and I don't want to say it bad because, of course, David Jason's a legend, but I can't help feeling that David Jason could have just done one book that was immensely fantastic, that had everything in it, rather than one good book, a second book that's a lot of rehash with the bits and new in it, and a third book there's lots of rehash with bits and new in it. So I enjoyed it, but I'm glad I didn't buy it. So that's what we're reading so far, my loves. See you next time. Bye bye.